real time. Have you been wondering what happened to Lil Jeff's killer following his tragic death? There is news. It appears Lil Jeff's killer might be saying goodbye to the street forever following the court sentence. In this video, I will break down the events leading up to Lil Jeff's death, but first, let's start things up with the court's verdict. In a not-so-shocking turn of events following the death of Chicago drill rapper Jeffrey L. Harris, known on the street as Bloodhound Lil Jeff, one suspect was arrested. Court documents showed that Trap City Rob, born Robert Coleman, was arrested in connection to the homicide. Authorities believe there was probable cause for the arrest of Trap City Rob because a witness identified and placed him at the crime scene where the shooting that killed Lil Jeff took place. However, Trap City Rob did not easily give in to the arrest. It was a struggle between the rapper and the Chicago police officers. According to the document, surveillance officers spotted Trap City Rob entering and leaving his apartment on S. Rhodes Avenue armed with a black firearm. It is important to mention that the surveillance officers were aware that Trap City Rob was a convicted felon and gun offender who was not supposed to own a firearm at any point in time. As soon as the officer sighted Rob, he approached him on foot, but first he called out to the suspect, letting him know that his body cam was activated and he was under arrest. I believe the officer did that to ensure a smooth and easy arrest, but reverse was the case. According to the report, when the police officer tried to get Trap City Rob under custody, Rob pulled away and refused to follow verbal instructions. He used dead weight to stiffen his body, making it difficult for the officer to handcuff him. The report states that Trap City Rob left the officer no choice but to employ control techniques, escort holds, and emergency takedown to get the arrestee in custody. During the struggle between Rob and the officer, a black loaded firearm fell off Rob's thighs. At this point, Trap City Rob continued to resist arrest until another surveillance officer joined in and forced the cuffs on Rob's wrist. It was reported that because of Trap City Rob's body size and resistance, 2 handcuffs were used on him, which resulted in injuries on his right wrist. However, Trap City Rob's actions were not without consequences. According to the document, after being placed into the squad role, Coleman was transported directly to 2nd District lockup due to his actions and demeanor on scene. In a shocking turn of events, an investigation into Trap City Rob's involvement in the homicide failed to prove that Rob was the actual shooter. As a result, the murder charge labeled against him was dropped, but because he was caught with a gun as a convicted felon, the gun charge would stick and he will probably get some time in jail. However, following Trap City Rob's arrest, a series of reactions and rising controversies erupted on Reddit. One user commented, "I ain't well versed on Illinois self-defense laws, but it is insane to me that anybody would be charged with murder in this situation. Was it because they kept shooting him?" Another user responded, "Ain't no self-defense for overkill, probably a couple shots or so, but not 19. While the argument was centered around whether or not Trap Lil Jeff's killer acted in self-defense, another Reddit user was concerned about dropping Rob's gun charge. The comment says, "Free his ass for that armed habitual he proved that day. Why made it a habit?" And to be honest, most fans share the same perspective, which explains why Trap City Rob was praised for standing on business after the incident. It's almost like the entire case was solved on Reddit before CPD started their investigation. In fact, it was the Reddit community that first identified Trap City Rob as the shooter. As soon as the news of Lil Jeff's death hit the street, the city of Chicago was startled by a series of trolling on the Reddit community, with most of the disses directed at the hood allegedly responsible for sending Lil Jeff back to his maker to protect their own. Someone said, "Trap City is in danger forever now." While the trolling was ongoing, some people were dedicated to identifying the man who rained bullets on Bloodhound Lil Jeff. As expected, the members of Cheericology, a subreddit for discussing Chicago drill culture, wasted no time identifying the killer. 2 days following the murder of Bloodhound Jeff, discussions on Cheericology alleged that the shooter was none other than Trap City Rob. This is largely because Trap City Rob, or iTrap Rob, has been arrested several times at the apartment where the shots that took Lil Jeff out were fired. Dramatically, within a short time, a photoshopped picture of iTrap Rob holding a football award began to circulate the internet, with most people praising him as the defensive player of the year. Simultaneously, Rob's photo was going viral with the caption "Wanted." According to news reports at the time, a shooting on the city's south side left 1 man dead, and Chicago police are still looking for the suspect. The terrifying incident happened on Saturday in the 6600 block of S. Rhodes at about 5:40 p.m. An unverified video showing a man being shot multiple times sparked a series of speculations. Even amidst unconfirmed reports, Trap City Rob began to go popular on the internet, with many comments addressing his alleged involvement involvement in the murder. Rob is also a rapper whose music does not make numbers. But as soon as he began going viral, his music, What a Feeling, released in 2020, started to rack up streams. Obviously, being the alleged killer of Chirac's most savage killers comes with internet fame, but it gets crazier. On June 16th, Chiracology featured a new post showing Trap City Rob's photograph barely a week after Lil Jeff's murder. Within the hour, some people observed that in that picture, Rob was wearing a shirt that appeared to be a troll to Jeff and how he died. However, tracing back to the roots of the matter, there was a time when Trap City Rob used to hang out with some members of the Bloodhound, as throwback pictures show Rob in a pose with Bloodhound Vert and another man whose face I'm not familiar with. Interestingly, to set the narrative straight, a Trap City Rob, or Unc Rob as he's been called today, granted an interview in the hood to say his part of the story. Reddit users refer to Trap City Rob as Unc Rob, largely because of the age difference between Lil Jeff and Rob. Apparently, while Lil Jeff belongs to the Gen Z set of Chicago rappers, Rob is evidently older and more likely a millennial, hence he's referred to as Uncle Rob. Rob, alongside his Day One homies, Terror and OTF Black, were filmed standing by the porch while observing their left and right for any possible threat. Interestingly, Rob opened the interview by denying his internet-imposed status of being the OG shooter who took out Lil Jeff.
Rob, man.
I don't even think you need no introduction at this point, my boy.
I do, man.
Okay, for sure.
Trap City. Rob considered it necessary to begin the interview by clearing out the rumor about his involvement in Bloodhound Jeff's murder because, at the time, the investigation was underway. He then proceeded to talk about his dissatisfaction with the high violence rate in the state of Chicago. He explained that most black people are underdeveloped and lack the emotional intelligence to understand that the violence popularized through drill music is a plot against black people.
The black man is very underdeveloped and undereducated in America, bro.
Ooh, not me?
No, just listen, bro. When it comes to emotional intelligence, reasoning and people getting shot over shoes and that's not being emotionally intelligent.
Trap City Rob's responses during this interview attracted several positive comments to the hood. One user commented, "Rob is what you call a grown man," and another quickly added, "These dudes are mature. Jeff was a little immature kid running up on some OGs. Jeff didn't think before he reacted. That's what separates a grown man from a little boy. OGs don't move the way Jeff did. OGs have rules and guidelines." Despite the praises, Trap City Rob was humble, trying to break the chain of violence in the hood. When the interviewer reminded the trio about the viral meme on Reddit where Robert's face is photoshopped on Malcolm X's iconic photo with the caption, "Protect the Trap," Rob was not impressed. The post suggests that Rob should run for president with the assurance that he will triumph in politics. Trap City Rob then acknowledged that he had seen the meme on Reddit, but he is not out to chase clout on the internet.
Chase that shit. I don't even like it, so I don't need internet crazy.
This is largely because most of the violence and murder in Chicago happened because someone trolled or bragged about the death of a rival gang member. iTrap Rob is not all about that life. He made it clear that Lil Jeff's death is a result of a spree of beef. The interview iTrap Rob did with Block 2 Block revealed some facts about the ongoing hood beef between Trap City and Drill City, leading to the death of Lil Jeff. Most importantly, Rob explained that he was not all about that life. Even though he enjoys drill rap, he hates the violence that comes with it.
I never chased that drill rap, bro. Like,
I be on some pain.
conscious, bro. Like, I'm in my environment, but I understand the overall. You know what I'm saying?
Rob would go on to say that black people keep killing each other because of things that truly don't matter. It's this same perspective that Rob's fans on Reddit, who call themselves Unc Gang, go about preaching during the internet war that started between Drill and Trap City after Lil Jeff's death. However, while Rob and his fans despise the violence, Lil Jeff died for it. Bloodhound Q50's recent Instagram post shows that Lil Jeff has been on the street long enough to catch bodies with videos circulating showing that before 2024, Lil Jeff was moving around with a ski mask armed to his teeth like a deadly assassin. Again, in an earlier interview covering Lil Jeff's lifestyle, the young gangster revealed that he had been on the street since he turned 18.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type shit.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
He also went on to reveal that he was no stranger to the street despite jumping off the porch at 18.
But the shit I'm doing now is shit I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing.
Lil Jeff revealed that he had an elder brother who taught him almost everything he needed to know about the street. And if you don't know, he was talking about J Boogie. Now what you should know is that J Boogie is about the same age group as Trap City Rob. And what's most important to note is that back in the day, these dudes were cool with each other. In the interview by Block2Block on YouTube, Trap City Rob confirmed that the two hoods used to be cool until the Bloodhounds stole their homie's chain, and then everything went south.
Fuck used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a
That was
bag
my homie.
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my own chain.
But again, if you look closely, you will see even far deeper than what Rob said was the reason for the beef. At least for Bloodhound Jeff, their feud started with the death of his cousin Z Money. Let me give you a little background. The start of 2022 ushered in a new personality and sound in the Chicago drill scene, Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Although Lil Jeff credited the start of his rap career to his friend Vert, it was his gruesome lyrics and violent videos that gained him popularity and credibility in the culture. Lil Jeff was eager to rap out the violence in him and to make it known to the street that he was a gangster. He once rapped about his mom saying she told him every day that she prays I make it home, and he told her that it's okay. He was the one doing all the killing. However, when he realized how cold his rap lyrics were, he quickly flipped and announced that it was all a joke and just music. It was all fake. But that's not even the point. One thing to note was that particular track was a tribute to his brother J Boogie, who was locked up behind bars. Now, with J Boogie in jail, Lil Jeff's cousin, Z Money, stepped in and started playing the role of an elder brother to Lil Jeff. He helped do his dirty work for him. He gave him the spotlight while playing the role of a background director. However, Lil Jeff and the entire Bloodhound gang would be faced with one of the most devastating losses that would sever the street alliances between Trap and Drill cities. In 2023, a decade-long alliance between Trap City and Drill City will come to an abrupt end following the death of Z Money, Lil Jeff's backbone on the street. On the hot afternoon of the 16th of March, 2023, Lil Jeff's cousin and best friend Z Money met his death in a tragic and very mysterious manner. According to news reports, Z Money was in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street near the 79th intersection in Kimbar. He was in the Avalon Park neighborhood in the parking lot of a dry cleaner store. There, the tragedy unlocked. It was reported that a car approached Z Money in the neighborhood and began to fire shots in his direction. Z Money was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center. Unfortunately, there he breathed his last. Z Money's unfathomable death was a painful loss to the Bloodhounds, but most especially to Lil Jeff, who had enjoyed Z Money's protection since his brother was incarcerated. After the murder, Lil Jeff and his right-hand man Q50 would go on to tattoo Z Money's name on their skin as a tribute to their fallen hero. In 2023, a non-profit newsroom covering gun violence in America known as The Trace reported on Z Money's case, where they captured his mother's heartbreaking voice concerning her son's death. She recounted that she got a call from Z Money's girlfriend informing her that Z Money was dead. She said she called the Chicago Medical Center and confirmed the news, but she had to go there and see for herself. On getting there, she said the doctor told her that he was dead on arrival. Then she proceeded to ask about how many times her son was shot. The doctor answered, "We stopped counting at 29. Sadly, that day, Z Money became one of the 4,000 people who were fatally shot in Chicago over the last 10 years, whose murderers still walk the street without any arrests, according to Chicago Police Department data. With many homicides left unsolved, thousands of families and friends are left looking over their shoulders in their neighborhoods. However, just when the situation was cooling off, the rumors about Z Money's killer's identity began to circulate. On Reddit, it was rumored that Z Money was backdoored by his old friends at Trap City. With this devastating revelation came the birth of a new monster on the street known as Bloodhound Lil Jeff. It was a swift transition almost everyone noticed. While the street was startled by the demise of Z Money, a young boy was transformed from Jeffrey Harris into Lil Jeff, also known as the Pistol Professor. Shortly after, Bloodhound Lil Jeff would go on to unleash his rage on these two boys, BKN Monty and Lil Rob, who allegedly robbed him of his jewelry and went on to troll the entire Bloodhounds, saying they should stop wearing fake chains.
Tell the op. We talking broad day. You taking so far. We got like 50K down. That fake AP they got.
Well, it's pathetic to know that the robbery was not worth the risk, because shortly after, the two boys would pay with their lives. The tragic incident unfolded at the Innovations High School located in downtown Chicago in an area known as Loop. At about 12:30 noon, Lil Rob and BKN Monty were heading out of school for a lunch break towards Washington Street and Wabash Avenue. As busy as that location was, as soon as Monty and Lil Rob arrived, two cars pulled over and some armed men jumped out and began to let out shots, killing the BKN Monty and Lil Rob. According to CPD Deputy Chief John, a group of individuals exited said vehicles, fired multiple times, striking 2 of the teenage students of Innovations High School. He also identified the victims as 16-year-old Robert Boston and 17-year-old Monterio Williams. According to police reports, a woman walking on the sidewalk when the shots rang out said that her coat was grazed by a bullet.
I heard like 4 shots and that was all super anxious and sad, and I was afraid that it hit me too by accident.
Unfortunately, just like most of the murders that happen on the streets of Chicago, this one too went off without any trace of suspects. If you have been following this story, then by now you already know who our prime suspect is, but let's not hop onto police business. What you should know, however, is that somewhere on the street, death was lurking, waiting for the next time Lil Jeff would go on a drill again. Lil Jeff's tragic death. Interestingly, the events of Lil Jeff's death are perhaps the most dramatic turn of events in the Chicago drill scene. Lil Jeff literally died trying to do what he knew how to do best, which is killing for the fun of it. I remember one of Lil Jeff's lyrics where he said every time he sees an op, he drops his mask and swings the door. Well, as it turned out, Lil Jeff never joked about a thing he rapped about. The most devastating event to have hit the Bloodhounds happened in the broad daylight of June 8, 2024. On that day, Bloodhound Lil Jeff, Q50, and one other guy were caught standing on business. In surveillance footage that was later released, Lil Jeff and his gang were seen literally swinging the door and jumping off the car to smoke a rival gang member in the heart of Trap City. In the footage, which I can't show you in full because of its gruesome nature, the people in the black SUV are Lil Jeff's homies. They dropped out of the car and started firing shots at a young man on South Road Avenue. If you look closely, you will see that while the car was parked, the squad sighted the target, and Lil Jeff quickly swung the door open and started letting out shots. The target, wearing bright yellow shorts, quickly ducks behind a car and eventually runs into the porch of a building while still being shot at by Lil Jeff. Hold up, I knew Chicago was a crazy place as soon as I saw Lil Jeff wearing a black Nike hoodie and gray Nike joggers chasing his target straight into their home where he met his end. Word on the street is that after Lil Jeff spotted this guy, he went all in chasing and shooting at him. For some reason, his homies did not go with him. They stood by their car while letting out shots at the gray car. As soon as Lil Jeff hit the target, he chased him right into the porch like it was in the movies. However, a bleak tragedy was just about to unfold. The rapper and killer who had fantasized about chasing an op into their home numerous times in his music finally fulfilled his fantasy, only that this was a one-time only experience for Lil Jeff. Someone from the house counterattacked Lil Jeff, sending him out head over heels with bullets to the ground, and there lying lifeless was the man called Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The word on the street was that Lil Jeff's shooter emptied the whole magazine on him. In the same video, Q50 and the other guy could be seen running to the porch trying to cover Lil Jeff, but the shooter rained hell that the two had to settle for finding a way out of the crossfire. As soon as Lil Jeff's death reached social media, fans and colleagues began to upload tributes in respect to the falling monster. Lil Scoom89, a close associate of the Bloodhounds, posted a series of stories following the murder, mourning his friend. "I love you, I'ma be with you real soon," he wrote, adding, "Damn brother, this shit don't feel real." Another artist and video creator, AMF Visuals, posted a story as well, with a picture of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and a heartbreak emoji. Both AMF Visuals and Lil Jeff produced a music video titled Ah earlier last year, and I remember when I first heard that song, I liked it and I really vibed to it. It took me a while to realize that Lil Jeff was rapping about the high school double homicide, and the ah was the sound one of the victims made while breathing their last breath. However, as expected, fans of the drill culture and other users of the internet reacted to Lil Jeff's death in different ways. One comment quickly pointed out, "The energy you put out always comes back to you." Another user added, "Trying to chase somebody into their own house off the street is the ultimate crash out move." Well, I bet Lil Jeff thought he was face to face with his fantasies. But take a look at this comment, which tried to compare Lil Jeff and King Von, given that most people have called them two of one. I feel like Von represented Chicago more than Jeff because yes, Jeff was a window into the streets of the modern day Chicago wars, but Von was more of what happens to most gang members in Chicago. Von actually been to jail for bodies and beat it and was in the wars for like a decade straight. Also, he started really young like most gang members. Von's story. If you are a fan of Chicago drill rap or like me, you follow the music, events, and news from the Chicago rap scene, then you must have noticed that Lil Jeff's artistry and rise to fame are based on the same qualities that made King Von such an interesting artist in the Chicago drill game. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then let me plug you in on the gist. Researching King Von, I realized that this dude did not only kill several people and brag about their murders, but he fits the criteria of a serial killer as defined by the FBI. According to the FBI, serial murder is the unlawful killing of two or more victims by the same offender as in separate events. Interestingly, Lil Jeff not only claimed to have dropped more bodies than King Von, but he also rapped about them and mocked them in his songs. This explains why the internet is filled with Lil Jeff and King Von's comparisons. Bloodhound moved in King Von's steps so much that DJU asked him if he considered Von as his mentor.
But what about the type of lifestyle that Von led? You know, was that something you looked up to as a youngin coming up?
It's Chicago though, everybody do what they do.
Although Lil Jeff tried to play that off, claiming everyone does their thing in Chiraq, everyone else knows that he looked up to King Von in the way he lived his life on the street. However, one thing stood out about Lil Jeff's rise to fame, and that was his 10 body counts narrative. DJU did not forget to bring that up during their interview.
Cause they said Bloodhound Lil Jeff got 10 bodies. I said, okay, well, he can't be in Iraq then. This nigga must be, you feel me?
Shortly after Khalil 8 Tree Mob was killed, word on the street pinned the body on Bloodhound Lil Jeff. In a shocking turn of events, Lil Jeff hopped on IG Live to update his body counts. The footage shows Lil Jeff alongside Q50 and some dudes flexing guns and vibing on live Instagram. Although there is a loud noise in the background, you can hear Lil Jeff say that he is now counting his toes. Damn, I actually respect that use of metaphor, because if you count past your fingers, then you have counted more than 10.
I'm gonna bust it in 3 for that shit is 11. You're gonna be 8 and I'm gonna scan your sleep.
As soon as his body count started to go viral on the internet, many people refused to believe the saga. But here's the thing, if the dude said he did, then he did it. Let's not forget when he updated his Instagram with a photo showing new tattoos on his neck area. The tats were designed in the shape of teardrops, each representing a kill. He then captioned the post, "Go do the math, if you know, you know." Damn, Chicago is not for everyone. Young dudes always acting like the police don't exist. He even insinuated that he has more bodies than Bill Russell. Championship rings wins. He said, "If I catch one more, I'm like Bill Russell. You know I really play ball." Don't take this as a joke, because while I was researching Lil Jeff's body counts, I came across this post in the Chiricology subreddit alleging that Lil Jeff dropped bodies in Milwaukee. Word on the street was that Lil Jeff was respected in Milwaukee because he was paid to kill 2 people. Come to think of it, is that why Lil Jeff molded his persona after the Milwaukee serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer? Lil Jeff Dahmer of Chicago Drill? That's a name fit for his exploits. But it is pathetic, although a natural order of things, that Lil Jeff was killed by the same violence he so much glorified. When the news began to circulate that Lil Jeff was killed by iTrap Rob, someone commented this user declared, "He killed Lil Rob, now he got by Big Rob." Although a funny remark, it goes to show how there is no way out of gang violence other than death. But here's a big question. If the police drop Trap City Rob's murder charge, that means the shooter is out there. Who could that be? I stumbled across the words of a Reddit user, which I'd like to leave you with. I said Rob ain't pull it. The real shooter we will probably never know because they lying low and not publicly claiming it. If you enjoyed this video, click the card showing on your screen for more videos.